4 races are left to go here in the 2025 Haas IndyCar Series season, and this week we knock out 2 of them. We are back here on the road courses once again here in the IndyCar Series, and you all know this track very well. It's the Watkins Glen International Raceway. This racetrack is usually always a lot of fun to go to, regardless of what car comes here. We are in for 2 spectacular races here up in New York. It's the BodyArmor duels at the Glen. And like I said, after these are said and done, just got 2 more races. It'll just be 2 more races left to go before we crown a champion. The season is really starting to come to a close, and boy, this championship battle is definitely getting interesting. We'll have to see how it develops though here today after 15 laps around the Watkins Glen International Raceway. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to race number 1 here at the BodyArmor duels at the Glen. What's going on, everybody? Caleb here, and welcome to race number 1 here of Watkins Glen here in the BodyArmor duels at the Glen. And like I said, these races are usually always a lot of fun. This track is always usually a lot of fun. Like I said, regardless of whether it's Cup, whether it's Xfinity type cars, whether it's IndyCar, no matter what kind of car you put on this racetrack, it usually always produces some very, very fun racing. And I'm sure this race will absolutely be no different. Last year's race here was a lot of fun and really shook up the championship battle in that regard. And judging where a lot of our championship contenders are starting here today, definitely seems like that could be the case once again. But we'll just have to wait and see how everything plays out. Nothing is solidified until the checkered flag falls. So we'll just have to wait and see, like I said, how it plays out after 15 laps here today and 15 laps tomorrow here around the Watkins Glen International Raceway. Joining alongside someone else who is very, very familiar with this racetrack, Matt Tuck. Thank you so much for joining me alongside here for race number 1. And let's talk about one of your drivers, Braden Perez, in the 83. He's had a really good second half of the season, and now he is up there fighting for a championship. He was just about the only championship contender that did not run into issues last race out at Canadian Tire. And he has a really good shot at potentially maybe even getting the points lead, judging by where he's starting and where he sits in points. But if you're in Braden Perez's seat, what do you think he needs to do to maybe just try and keep the car clean, maybe put himself in a position to maybe nab that points lead after today? And, I guess also, what do you think he needs to do if he wants to maybe try to maintain his shot at the championship going into the rest of the season?
Well, it has been an interesting run for Perez. It's been an exact opposite of what we had last year, where the team was super, super dominant in the first half of the season and just completely crumbled in the last 5 races. Well, it's been the exact opposite. It's not hyperbole to say that, we really were not good up until about the Indy 250, but, had some good pace at Indy. Perez almost won that race. And since then, he has been way better than he was to start the season. It is going to be exciting to see him battle here today, but he's got some heavy hitters still. Tanner Parton's not out of it here yet. He's got a lot of ground he can make up. Ace Garcia has a good starting position here today, so right now they're all chasing Zachary Fitzwater, and this is the type of track that we expect Fitzy to excel on, and I think he's going to be absolutely whipping that Trackhouse Porsche around here today to get to salvage that points lead as best as he can.
Definitely. It's going to be a lot of fun to see all our championship contenders, what all they can do with what kind of starting spots they have, because, starting position can definitely mean a lot here, especially at these road courses. It's still especially here at Watkins Glen, it's a pretty easy track to pass. You got a lot of high-speed straightaways, some sweeping corners. You got some tight corners kind of sprinkled in there around as well. So, yeah, these guys are absolutely going to be ripping around here, and we're definitely going to see a lot of passing. And there's also, of course, always the strategy aspect in there as well. We will have one pit stop in this race honestly, kind of towards the end of the race. Window is probably around lap 10 or 11, but we could see some guys maybe try and undercut, coming a few laps early, maybe kind of try and split the race in half. We'll have to see if anyone does elect to do that. But regardless, it's going to be very, very interesting to see what all strategies will be in play here during this race and who all we might see benefit from the strategy calls. But in the end, it'll definitely be fun to see who will be fighting it out for the win in this one, and how this championship battle will shake up after everything is said and done here at Watkins Glen. But I think it's just about enough yapping from me. Really quickly, though, we'll take a quick look here at your point standings coming in to the 17th race here of the 2025 Haas IndyCar Series season. Like we were talking about, Zachary Fitzwater still currently sits at the top of the point standings, but only has a 2-point cushion to the 8 of Tanner Parton, and only 10 points down to the 83 of Braden Perez. Those are our guys that are really in the thick of it right now. But taking a look further on down your point standing, we've still got a lot of guys that could definitely make a shot at it. We got Brendan Wilmington coming in 4th, 44 back. Ace Garcia is 5th, only 60 back. Bradley Bradshaw is 675 back. He's tied with John Andrews as well. Chris Reynolds is 8th in points, 114 back. Anthony Hernandez, after a really good run at Canadian Tire, now enters the top 10 in points. He's 118 points back, and Aaron Abel right now rounds out your top 10. He has 128 points behind our points leader, Zachary Fitzwater. And like I said, they're all kind of spread out throughout the field here today. We'll just have to wait and see how everything will play out and who we might see fighting for the win here at Watkins Glen. But, alright, I think that's about everything said and done. I think it's about time we get these guys rolling here from the Watkins Glen International. And as they do, we'll take a quick look here at your starting lineup here for race number 1 here at the BodyArmor Duels at the Glen. Starting on the pole position, it's the number 00 of Christian Vargas. He won one of these races last season, so really nice to see Vargas up front again. Maybe he can go back-to-back here and win another one of these races here at Watkins Glen. He starts alongside the number 40 of Angel Olvera. Row number 2, we find last race's winner, the 04 Luna Lona, starting alongside the 23 of Dylan Matthews. Row 3, there's your guy, Matt, the 83, Braden Perez, starting alongside the number 5 of Nicholas Samadillo. Row 4, we got the number 27 of Ace Garcia, starting alongside the 88 of Anthony Hernandez. Two guys that are also up there in the top 10 in points. Let's see what they can do here today. And starting behind them, you have the number 75 of Justin Zidell, starting alongside the number 97 of Aaron Abel. Wraps up the top 10 starters here for this one. Looks like everyone's rolling off okay. Race report will be on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. As we mentioned, the 15-lap race here today. The usual 30 entries, of course. And pit window, like I said, should be around lap 10 to 11, but we definitely could potentially see some guys come in a little bit earlier. But, all that said and done, Matt, I have to ask you, who do you think is going to be the one to come out on top here at the Watkins Glen International Raceway?
Well, I'm going to do something really, really bold, and I'm going to pick somebody that I actually don't think I've ever picked before to win here a race on the channel, and I'm going to pick Braden Perez in the 83. I like the pace he's been on, and I think, this track has never really been particularly friendly to people who work for Matt Tuck or are affiliated with Matt Tuck. Finally won the DeWalt Cup Series race here a few weeks ago. I think the tides are finally turning, and he's going to give Velocity-Star their first ever win here in our backyard.
Yeah, that could definitely be a very good omen there for Braden Perez. Have to see if he could potentially pull it off. Like I said, he's had a really good second half of the season after a great run in the Indy 250. Have to see what he can do here from that 5th starting position. But here we go. Coming through turns 10 and 11 here at Watkins Glen. It's going to be Christian Vargas and Angel Olvera that lead us down the front straightaway to the green flag. We're racing here in race number 1 here at the BodyArmor Duels at the Glen. up the S's they go. We usually see the outside lane get a good jump on these starts here at Watkins Glen, and this race looks like no different as Angel Oliveira gets the race lead away from Vargas there. Dylan Matthews is in second, but looking to go through the lead here as they go through the carousel. They're going to be side by side here as they go into the boot section. Matthews on the outside. Oliveira will have the advantage. Might try and stay clear, but Matthews got a good run there. She's going to try and take it to the inside. Oh, send it in there as we went into turn 7. The toe, and Matthews clears for the lead as they come out of the corner there. Oliveira down to second. There's Christian Vargas, your pole sitter, slipping back to third. Fourth is San Mateo. Fifth is Luna Lona. Braden Perez slipping back a little bit after that starting position, but he's still up here inside the top 10. Max Anderson with a big dive to the inside. Just barely going to get clearance there and looking to get by Braden Perez, but I think he might have got a bit spooked by that as well because he backed out of it there in the 99. Thomas Troxel now trying to look to the inside as San Mateo tries to go after Luna Lona. Zachary Fitzwater in the 52 making up some pretty good ground here in the early stages of this race. But out front right now, Dylan Matthews with some pretty dicey but really nice moves there at the start of the race. Now holds on to the race lead here at Watkins Glen. Angel Oliveira second. Vargas trying to hold on to third, but trying to fend off. Go for Luna Lona.
Yeah, that was a big-time move there into the carousel by Dylan Matthews early in the race. She saw the opportunity, and you can make a lot of passes here at a racetrack like Watkins Glen, but that doesn't change that track position is still very important. And if you get the opportunity to jump on it early in the going, you want to jump on it, and that is what the 39 here did. A great start for her. Oliveira's still hanging in there, though. Vargas is still hanging in there. And this is going to be an interesting jostle for position here. And then you've got San Mateo in the 5, and Braden Perez not having a particularly great start here to this race, getting jumped by, I believe that's the 25 of Thomas Troxel.
It is Thomas Troxel who slid in
Thomas
behind.
Troxel.
But jumps back
Yeah,
on
so
once again.
he's not having a great start here. Still got some time. Still in a good points position here though. Early on in this race,
It's not been the best of starts for Perez, but it could definitely be worse. I could see back there, Ace Garcia has not had a good start to this race. He's already fallen outside the top 10, down in the 17th position. So Perez still doing a good job at hanging on up here in the 8th position for the time being. He held off Thomas Troxel there. So still looking for a good result in that 86. And of course this race is still far from over. So Perez still definitely has the opportunity to gain some ground up before everything is said and done. Taking a look back here, Zachary Fitzwater in the 52, up into the 12th position since the start of the race. So he's had a really good go at it here. Brennan Wilmington in the 98, just a couple of cars back. He's also had a really good start to this race. Now trying to go after the 41 of Bruno Diacomo, who's right behind the 33 of Baby Ruiz. Braden Perez trying to potentially now go after the 88 of Anthony Hernandez here. He's going to send one down the inside as they go through the toe. We've seen a lot of aggressive moves here already. And it's going to go side by side here as we head down the boot and into the heel. Aaron Abel in the 97 going after San Mateo in the 5. Both these guys still say double file. Hernandez on the inside is going to have the advantage as they come out of the boot section, but Perez going to try and hang tough there on the outside. As we head into turns 10 and 11, he went really over the curb there, but it might work out for him. Whoa!
Ooh!
Just barely wasn't cleared there. They stay side by side. He's going to have some help here from Thomas Troxel, and he finally clears Anthony Hernandez. That was a really big tough and nails battle there for Braden Perez.
Yeah, Perez and Hernandez were having an absolute clash here for the back half of the top 10 positions. Great driving by all of them. I thought Hernandez actually had him cleared, but Perez hung on there. And now he's going to set his sights on Nicholas San Mateo, start working with the strategy team about when they want to make this pit stop, because the undercut versus overcut can be so different here depending on how clean your track position is when you come out here. But back up front, keeping an eye on this battle, Dylan Matthews is not pulling away from Oliveira and Christian Vargas. This battle looks like it's starting to get a little bit closer here in the early stages of this race. And Luna Lona, who drove for us last year, won a bunch of races, having a decent season here for Durrani Race, and she's hanging around in this picture as well. But this is going to be an interesting. I think it's going to mostly be between these top 4 and maybe the 97 of Aaron Abel if something crazy happens here. But just keep an eye here on this lead battle. Matthews has the lead and looks strong in the Evans Ross Racing Machine, but 5.545 last time, 6.624 this time. But I mean, they're still hanging around here. Matthews is not getting away from them.
Angel Oliveira not letting that 39 get too far ahead. Trying to stay within a second and maybe within striking distance as this run goes along. Christian Vargas still hanging out in third. Luna Lona in fourth, also not too far back. And here comes the 97. Aaron Abel, like you mentioned, maybe outside looking in. He's trying to look in here as he tries to go after the 04 Lona, looking to the inside. He's just barely going to get the space. He's going to get to the inside here as they go through the carousel. Abel got a little bit physical there. They go side by side still here into the boot section. Lona's going to have the inside, though, and clears for the time being. Christian Vargas looking for a potential move here on the 40 of Angel Oliveira. Oliveira slipped a little bit wide there, though, through the boot, or the toe, and here comes Vargas. Peeking to the inside as they head down the boot here and into the heels, or you stay side by side. This is what Dylan Matthews wants to see, though, because the longer these guys stay side by side, is the more that's giving the 39 the opportunity to pull away here. So if they want to stay close, this battle needs to be decided quick. They stay side by side here, going through 10 and 11, but Vargas almost cleared there through turn 11, but they stay side by side still as they head down the front straightaway.
Yeah, this is, I mean, so much great racing up and down the pack here at the Watkins Glen International. It's Oliveira and Vargas trading blow for blow here, and Aaron Abel just lurking around trying to see. That wasn't Zachary Fitzwater in the back. Okay, no. I saw a black and red car, and I was like,
Pardon.
Oh, that is not good. The Vision Great Motorsports driver not having a good day here, and Zachary Fitzwater has not found. Oh, there was a massive shunt here.
Something happened back here. Nobody's.
I don't know who it was.
A couple of cars are quite a ways behind, and actually every out for the 93s down the pit lane. Carson Miller, Max Anderson, or Duncan Ward, excuse me, in the 13 has a bit of damage to the wing. Tanner Parton might have got a piece of that as well. Maybe Noah Clifton, a couple cars kind of lingering here behind the field. Put a replay of whatever happened on the bottom left-hand side of the screen, but it looks like we might have had an accident here at Watkins Glen, and the skid marks honestly kind of remind me of the David Rudiman incident here at this racetrack back in 2011, I believe.
You know, I honestly, I thought there was, we were recapping another iconic wreck here at Watkins Glen for the moment with all the skid marks on the runoff in turn 1, but I won't keep bringing that up. With all that, though, Dylan Matthews has, I say that, and the 00 Vargas just wheeled in 7/10 that lap, so maybe Matthews is going to have to start thinking a little bit on the undercut side of things here. Tires are falling off in that 39. 5.5 seconds separate the top 10. One guy to note who's absent from this top battle here today, Zachary Fitzwater, going away through the field here. He has not really found his way up the road that much yet. He's in 13th, so he's not losing a ton, but in this IndyCar point system, you know, if Braden Perez finds his way pressing onto the podium, Fitz is going to go to work. Smooth work here for the veteran in the carousel. But he needs to start finding his way up the road here because Braden Perez is going to jump him as they run here in the points. And with just a handful, I think you said it was 3 races to go after this race here tonight. Yeah, that is not a lot of time here to be handing the point lead back to Braden Perez, who's been on fire the second half of the season.
Zachary Fitzwater trying to claw his way here through the field, trying to go after that 83 and Braden Perez, who currently still actually now sits in the 7th position. I believe he got by the 88 of Anthony Hernandez. Yeah, especially here in this IndyCar points format. Once you get into the top 10, those points really start growing. So Braden Perez still with a really good shot here at potentially overtaking Fitzwater as they run at the moment. Fitzwater trying to do everything he can to potentially minimize the damage done. Brendan Wilmington in the 98 also looking for a decent point stage. Tried to go after Ruiz, couldn't quite get it done. Opens the door here for the 41 of Bruno Giacomo as they go side by side here up the S's. Giacomo looks like he's going to take that spot away for the time being from the 98 of Brendan Wilmington. But up front, you were talking Christian Vargas closing. He closed in about half a second that last time by as well. That 00 is on rails here in the latter half of this run, and Dylan Matthews might have to play some defense here, judging by how fast that 00 is looking.
I mean, to the credit of both of these two, I mean, this was a 4 or 5 car breakaway at the front of this field. It's now 3 seconds back to third place. They have absolutely up and left the rest of this pack here. Great stuff here from the top two, and we continue to have the battle between Abel, Gutierrez, Lone is in there, Samadillo and Perez, the GRT pairing swapping positions. Hernandez is having a nice run. Troxel's hanging around here, but it's going to be crunch time here on pit road here in just, gotta be careful not to junk it before the pit stops. But it's going to be crunch time here on pit road in probably the next 2 to 3 laps here for all these teams. I now think if you're Christian Vargas, you need to think about getting jump on Dylan Matthews, because Matthews is kind of locked back in under pressure here, and Vargas has got a very fast race car. And it's going to be interesting too, because you don't see it as much at IndyCar, but you might only get 4 laps left. It definitely makes you wonder, how brave are you feeling on pit road, and would you be willing to roll the dice here late in the going and go fuel only?
I'll have to see if anybody does look to maybe try and stretch it long. With the pit stop happening so late in the race, the possibilities are honestly just about endless. Doesn't look like we're seeing anybody pull a really extreme undercut, apart from the guys that probably came down the pit lane getting involved in that accident. Christian Vargas in the 00, continuing to try and close in on the 39 and Dylan Matthews. That 00 might honestly be the card to beat. It honestly might just be up to if Dylan Matthews can maybe get some good strategy here and hold off that 00 Vargas. Looking back in third now, held by the 97 of Aaron Abel, looking to bounce back after both NS racing cars wrecked out in spectacular fashion at Canadian Tire. Luna Lona looking for another good run there in fourth. Angel Oliveira currently rounding out your top 5. Coming to lap 10 here, this is the lap where we could definitely see a lot of guys come down pit lane. We'll see if anybody decides to maybe come in a little bit early. At least for our front runners, it doesn't look like that is going to be the case.
Surprising.
So, I'd say this time by, though, the pits will start to get pretty busy, and especially once we get on to lap number 11. It'll probably be an all-out brawl down there on pit lane. We'll have to see who decides to come in this lap, who comes in next lap, and I don't know, we could maybe see somebody stretch it along. We'll have to see, but we're getting down to it here at Watkins Glen. This time by, it's going to be 5 laps to go. The races usually go by quick, and Christian Vargas looking to get by Dylan Matthews here sooner than later, as he is all over the gearbox there, that 39.
Yeah, Vargas is seeing the opportunity here, and he wants to take control of this race. He says, what's the best way to do it?
Here we
forget
go.
Doing the undercut. Oh, here we go. He's going to get the run out of the toe, side by side, down the back straightaway. And Vargas is going to have to really send it down in there, because Matthews will get the outside lane coming out the top, but she whips it around the outside. That was a bold move by the 39. That could pay dividends here if they both come down pit road at the same time. Coming back up out of the boot here into 10 and 11. We're about to find out who's going to start the pit stop cycle here. Will it be Matthews? Will it be Vargas? Will it be everybody? Let's find out. It's the top 2.
Abel stays out. Oh. Perez stays out. You got by the 5 of Samadillo there.
Out.
Troxel and Hernandez going after it behind him. Oh boy.
Hernandez has been on some big-time overtakes here on the outside today. I mean, I expect nothing less from Anthony Hernandez. Very aggressive driver here, but puts it all out on the line. He's having a great run here. Troxel, a bunch of guys having some great runs here, but Aaron Abel's now in an interesting position. You've got to think about potentially. They're all taking, looks like, 4 tires here. Oh, what a wicked quick stop here for the 39.
Dylan Matthews off the pit lane really quick there. Looks after the wall there on the pit exit. No harm, no foul at Vargas. Maybe looked a little bit slow on the jack there getting down, and you're seeing just how much dividends that might cost him as he's got some ground to make up now to the 39 Dylan Matthews as they both try and get up to speed here. Luna Lona comes out third of that group. Olvera, and then we have Carson Miller and Duncan Ward also coming down that time by. One of the guys staying out. Aaron Abel in the 97 currently leads them. Braden Perez second, side by side for third. Between Hernandez and Sam Badia, with Troxel waiting in the wings right behind. And I'd imagine pretty much about all these guys will be coming down here on lap number 11. There goes Aaron Abel. I'd assume Braden Perez will probably come down. And yep, here comes everybody. Yells!
Oh my goodness!
Wilmington sideways coming into the pits, but they both hang on to it. And yeah, pit lane is a busy place here on lap number 12.
Could you imagine if Brandon Wilmington, I mean, he's not out of the championship. He's 44 points back. Could you imagine if his championship fate was sealed by getting wrecked by BB Ruiz entering pit road at Watkins Glen? Oh my goodness.
There goes the
Abel drops the
Abel.
jack.
First car of this group to come into the pit lane. There's Braden Perez, and there goes the 39 Dylan Matthews. She's going to hold on to the race lead after everything is said and done. Abel actually come out here in second, but he still needs to get up to speed here. But he's got a good gap back to the 00 of Vargas. Lona comes out fourth. Ooh, Braden Perez might have a shot at fifth here on the 40 of Angel Olvera. Anthony Hernandez, Thomas Troxel looking to potentially battle here for seventh. Good pit stop for Ace Garcia. Good pit stop for Bradley Bradshaw. In the 07, he started last in this race, and he could potentially come home here with a top 10.
Yeah, this has been a great run here for Bradshaw. It's not quite been the season to follow up to last year, which was a wild. To his credit, though, I mean, he is 6 in points. So even though he's not been as good as he was last year, he still had a very good season here. You can see he's going to get the overtake done here, and Zachary Fitzwater hanging out there just outside the top 10. It's not going to be an ideal result for Fitzy, but you're going to have qualifying coming up here after this race, I'm assuming, for tomorrow afternoon's race in the second duel. So it's going to be very, very exciting here to see how this all plays out for Zachary Fitzwater. But up front, 3.3 seconds here. Aaron Abel must have junked it somewhere because Dylan Matthews has set off into the New York afternoon.
Vargas got back up to second there, and the 00 probably cost both him and Aaron Abel a bit of time there as Abel slips back into third. Lona in fourth. Olvera's going to hang on to fifth. Braden Perez still in the sixth position, having a really good run. And with where everybody is running right now, if he can bring it home there, I think he probably will end up taking the points lead after everything is said and done. Anthony Hernandez in seventh. Thomas Troxel in eighth. Really nice to see your reigning champion having another good run. This has honestly been a season to forget for Thomas Troxel, so nice to see him up inside the top 10, looking to bring home some good points there for Team Williams. Ace Garcia running ninth, not too bad of a run there for him, and Baby Ruiz currently rounds out your top 10 with Zachary Fitzwater knocking on the gearbox, trying to make his way here inside of the top 10. This time by it's going to be 2 laps to go here from Watkins Glen, which, of course, at a track like this is still a decent amount of time for a lot to go down. And speaking of a lot going down, Bradley Bradshaw, something might have happened to him in the 07. And the 98 of Brendan Wilmington as well.
Oh.
That could potentially be big. I don't know if they maybe had to come back down the pit lane or ran into an issue of some sort. I don't know what, but that's going to be big for the both of them. Especially Wilmington.
Yeah, that's not. Brandon Wilmington came into the race 44 points behind in the championship, and I don't exactly know where he's going to leave, but he's going to leave a lot more than the most amount of points you can make up in a single event. Um, and like I said, after the checkered flag flies, we have 3 races left. That is not a lot of time to make it. You know, you're Zachary Fitzwater. It sucks to lose the point lead, but you got plenty of time if you're only 10, 11 points off of Braden Perez. And we know that Trackhouse has brought some fast cars for him this year. The overtakes into the carousel today have been bold and brave down to the inside. But if you're Fitzy, you know, you lose a point lead here today, I strap it up and let's go again tomorrow. But someone like Brendan Wilmington, Tanner Parton, you could not afford to have bad runs like they've had today here.
And it's been a rough go at it for those guys. Parton right now currently running in the 19th position. Wilmington, I guess, right now being scored in 21st. And like I said, some kind of woes there potentially under the pit cycle. And that's really going to cost them. Tough break there for those guys, but white flag is in the air. 1 lap to go here for Dylan Matthews. Here around Watkins Glen, pulled away quite a bit there from the 00 Christian Vargas. They're really turning on the Jets here when it matters most is Dylan Matthews. Just looking to bring it home for 1 clean lap here, 1 final time here around Watkins Glen. Ever since she got the race lead, she's definitely had a bit of a challenge there from Vargas at the latter half of that first run, but still, she has not looked back, and it has been a very dominant performance here from Dylan Matthews.
No, this has been a very, very strong performance. Is the highest in points of the drivers who missed the Indy 250. And it definitely makes you wonder, you know, had that Indianapolis weekend played out a little bit differently, you know, I mean, she came into this race, was only 133 off the point lead, but you never know. I mean, there were a lot of points that she missed out on. And we know this Evans-Ross Racing team is a very strong program here, but just a handful of corners to go. A very, very impressive effort from them here today.
Without a doubt, it's been a great performance for Dylan Matthews. Like he kind of touched on, if only they Indy 250 week would have gone a little bit better for them. But who knows how that would have played out, but we know how this race is going to play out. It's coming through turn 11. Dylan Matthews is going to win race number 1 here at the Body Armor Duels at the Glen. Christian Vargas with a great run comes home in second. Aaron Abel rounds out your podium. There's Braden Perez in the 83. He's going to bring it home in the 6th position. And a couple cars back, Zachary Fitzwater is going to bring it home with a top 10 finish there in the 52. So a good recovery there from Zachary Fitzwater. We'll have to see what exactly the points deficit is, but with where they are running, I think that Braden Perez will take the points lead away after today's race is said and done. But who's really going to be celebrating after this one is Dylan Matthews and that team over there at Evans-Ross Racing. Like I said, a dominant performance out of that 39 team. And another win on the season for Dylan Matthews. Man, that was... what a race here from Watkins Glen. As usually the case, like I said, this track always usually produces some very fun racing. And this race, I'm sure, was absolutely no different. We saw a lot of great racing. We saw a lot of great daring overtakes during the race. And some great strategy in there as well. And it all came down pretty much to who had the fastest pit stop there at the end. And Dylan Matthews was able to get away probably just a few tenths of a second quicker, but that made all the difference out there on the racetrack and led the 39 to victory lane here at Watkins Glen. And taking a quick look here through your finishing order, Dylan Matthews brings it home with the win. Vargas is second. Abel rounds out your podium. Luna Lona is fourth. Angel Olvera fifth. Perez brings it home in sixth. Anthony Hernandez is seventh. Thomas Troxel, great run for him, brings it home eighth. Bebe Ruiz is ninth. And Zachary Fitzwater rounds out your top 10. Wow.
Yeah, that was a good recovery drive from Fitzy. You know, he was kind of middle of the pack for a lot of the race. But to get in the 10th, Perez is 6th. It swings the point lead. It might not actually. I don't think Perez is going to take 1-point lead. I think he's gonna. We're either looking at probably a tie or maybe a 1-point Braden Perez lead. But it's going to be very, very close
Hmm.
heading into tomorrow's race. And then obviously you've got 2 races after tomorrow at Richmond, the short track, and Pocono. And boy, oh boy, I mean, we all know what happens. We saw last year what can happen down the stretch here. Um, we saw last year what can happen down the stretch, and it's playing out very similar again. You've got a very tight championship battle that is going to go down to the wire here. 2 veterans on the channel. I have a feeling it's just going to be these 2 after tonight's race, without some huge heroics. But hats off though to Dylan Matthews and Evans Ross Racing. That was an absolute beatdown here at the Watkins Glen International.
Definitely a absolute masterclass by Dylan Matthews and that Evans Ross Racing team. A stellar performance, and I'd say most definitely will probably put that team back inside of the top 10 in points. Definitely would be a huge deficit to maybe make a late championship run, but I don't know. We've honestly kind of seen crazier things happen here in the IndyCar Series, and we still got 3 races left to go. So while the impossible could become possible, we've seen a lot of stuff go down, and it is not over until it's over. We'll just have to wait and see how everything plays out, but right now it is looking pretty good, especially for Braden Perez and Zachary Fitzwater, both bringing it home with really good runs there. And yeah, I'd say the points battle is, regardless of who ends up over where, it's definitely going to be very, very tight up at the top of the point standings after this one. But what a race here from Watkins Glen, and we're not done with the fun quite yet. Still got another race here at Watkins Glen coming up tomorrow. BodyArmor Dual Race number 2. Another 15-lapper, and ought to be a lot of fun there as well. We'll just have to wait and see how that one plays out. But like I said, just 3 races left to go. After this week, it'll just be 2. And what will we see go down? We'll just have to wait and see how everything will play out here as the 2025 Haas IndyCar Series season starts to come to a close. But that is about all from me here from the Watkins Glen International Raceway. A huge thank you to Matt Tuck for joining me up here in the booth for this one. And I will see you guys for the second race of the BodyArmor Duels at the Glen here tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And then after that, it'll be the Smithville, Virginia 100K at the Richmond Raceway. So keep an eye out for that one as well. But thank you all so much again for tuning in. Another congratulations to the 39 of Dylan Matthews for winning BodyArmor Duel Race number 1 here at the Glen. And I will see you all tomorrow for BodyArmor Duel at the Glen Race number 2. But until then, you all take care and have a good one. Here is your point standings after race number 17 of the season.